Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo, know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Okay. Also know anything of any importance, relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. If you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video. That's the word that comes out of this deck, the Psychic Soul Healer deck. That's how I like to start off my readings. You're going to write that word in your comment bar. If you want to enter into winning a free reading, you'll know if I, chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment and you did all those things. All right. And if I did, we'll correspond back and forth through email. Just reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com so we can figure out best day and time that works for the both of us. Also, check your spam box. A lot of times I'm corresponding back and forth to a winner, and then they don't get their link, and then they find it in their spam box like weeks later. So if you don't receive a link within like a few days after we spoke, check your spam box because I can guarantee it'll be there. All right. Now, if you want to enter winning a free reading with me, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and reach out to me if you've won at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. All right. And the word is compassion. Compassion, that's the word that you are going to write in your comment bar. We're going to see why that word came out. How is it influencing your reading? Well, I feel like you're in separation from someone that wants you to have compassion for them. And I feel like they don't really deserve compassion. And I feel as if forgiveness happens to be a spiritual lesson for you, that you've had a lot of people come into your life and hurt you, betray you, and people that really were supposed to love you and care for you feel like the first time was parents, a mother or a father, a sibling, someone extremely close to you. Then it played out in certain relationships. Now, again, the person that you're here to find out about, person that's connected to you, well, again, they also hurt you. And now I feel as if they are viewing you a lot differently than how they originally met you. Just want to plug my computer in. I just noticed that that the power is down, and I don't want it to die on us in the middle of the reading. Okay. First time for everything. All right. So compassion. So I feel as if they have grown, but not as much as they're claiming to. I feel as if they have reflected a lot on the connection that they have with you, and it has made them look at things that they need to change. I just don't feel like they've made a lot of the changes. They don't know how to make those changes. And they feel as if somehow you could help them. Somehow, possibly because, again, they feel this spiritual connection to you, and you not being in their life and them all of a sudden wanting to come into your life. And if they're asking for compassion, they acted like an ass. We're going to see exactly what they did. But this is the underlining energy. We're going to see why I pulled that from compassion. Okay, first looking at the shadows. Blind spot. This person, again, is wounded. And you're wounded. So the problem is that when people have hurt you before, Virgo, then you can't help but to unconsciously go into new relationships and look for, the same types of things. It's a survival mechanism. And it's a survival mechanism because once we've gone through trauma, we try to protect ourselves. And unconsciously, again, we look for those clues, but we see what we look for. And so this is what the blind spot is. When we're we have a blind spot. We're definitely not going to be compassionate. We're only going to see what we see. And I feel as if your person's wounded, they play a lot of games because, again, they don't really feel safe in relationships. So there is this runner chaser dynamic, there is a soul connection. However, how you both relate to each other and interact with each other, there's a lot of triggering, I feel like. And that is also another blind spot. Again, broken. And that's what I was saying. Broken, no one's really broken. We perceive that we're broken. And we perceive that we're broken due to the experiences that we've gone through. So I feel as if your person continually broke promises to you, which was a constant trigger for you. Like again, they they did things to you that triggered old wounds. And I feel like you just being in their life and them having such deep feelings for you, a spiritual connection, is what triggered their wounds. So, like I said, no one's broken, but when we see that we're broken, what happens is that we unconsciously wear a mask. We create a facade because no one walks around saying I'm broken. We're embarrassed of those parts of ourselves. We detach from those parts of ourselves. We dissociate from those parts of ourselves. We don't like those parts of ourselves. They keep us in a place of disempowerment because, again, we're perceiving ourselves through the experience, through the wound, instead of who we truly are. So it doesn't mean that your person doesn't have feelings for you, and it doesn't mean that you don't have feelings for them. But I see like a lot of shadows, so a lot of triggers. And I feel like this person hurt you, and they do have feelings, like I said, for you, but it doesn't matter. You know what? One more. I said lost. And so I feel as if they're looking for you. Like I said, they want to come back into your life because they feel on some level you can help them. They feel that this is a spiritual connection. Not maybe they might not use the term spiritual, but they feel like you're supposed to be in their life because you have impacted their life. You you have impacted their life because A, you walked away from them, you didn't put up with their shit. B, because you again are going through this experience that I feel like is changing you. And they're seeing the changes. It's helping you within your career. It's going to it help you advance. And I feel like all eyes are on you, and their eyes are on you. So they're seeing that they could be in a relationship with you, where before, again, the blind spot was they weren't ever really taking the time to get to know you to see whether they could have a relationship with you. They were just assuming who you were through their perceptions, but their perception, like I said, their wounds. It was my fault, but I blamed you. So I believe that this person that you did try and tell them, but they would gaslight you, that they would manipulate you because there was part of them that didn't really want you to go. They wanted you on their life. They just wanted you in their life on their terms. And that's why they feel bad because they know what they did. I don't react when people mention you. And that's because, again, this person is not emotionally intelligent. They don't want to seem vulnerable. They don't know whether you've moved on or not. There's a part of them that is fearful. The thing is, all eyes are on you. And so you're getting a lot of attention, which is scaring them. Because I feel like at one point they really never expected for you to be in separation with them for this long. People usually cave. They play a lot of games where they don't come back and apologize. They try and manipulate, they emotionally check out so that it triggers the people normally that they're with so that they don't have to give in, they don't have to cave. They get the other people to cave by emotionally manipulating. I want to feel that way again, but secretly down deep inside, they want to feel the passion. They want to feel the passion, and that is really why they want to come back. So listen, we don't ever volunteer to really heal. We usually get tricked into healing. And the truth of the matter is, I feel like this person was an ass. They were an ass because of, again, everything that they've gone through within their life, in their relationship, their wounds. You're wounded too. They weren't willing to look at your wounds. They only cared about themselves. They were very selfish. So, ironically, they want compassion from you, but they never gave compassion. So, they feel they're looking at you almost as if you're going to react the way that they would react. But I feel like you're on a higher vibration. So let's look at some spiritual cards, and I'm just going to pull five to see. We are coming into union. They feel that you're meant to be with them. They feel as if they feel very connected to you because soulmates do have an ESP connection through the heart and mind. We can feel when our person is near. And I feel like this is why this relationship is hard because you're being asked to be compassionate when you don't, that's hard for you. It's hard for you, Virgo, because you've gotten hurt before. So being vulnerable, it's going to ask you to be vulnerable again, where with a person that has already hurt you. However, I do believe you have feelings for this person. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. That's the ESP connection. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. That ESP soul's connection, they already feel like they know you because they have known you in past life. I feel that it unfortunately past life soulmates, twin flames, we usually haven't learned the lesson. So we meet back in this life, and there is a lot of passion, there is a lot of chemistry because, again, we recognize when that person feels like home, but understand it's the universe is bringing you your lessons in a pretty package, someone that you are going to be completely hot for, have a lot of passion for. You wouldn't stick around long enough to learn the lessons. This person wouldn't have changed. They like the spiritual connection, I feel like, but it scares them because it's deep and it makes them have to feel. And this person does not like to feel. They don't like to feel vulnerable. We are alchemists. We transform fear into love and shadow into light. That's how I know that this is like a twin flame, like, or a past life soulmate connection, which is usually a soulmate, uh, soulmate past life. If this person doesn't evolve, which we'll see, if they don't evolve, then they're not a twin flame, they're just a past life karmic mate. But again, they've clearly come into your life and you are in their life to alchemize your wounds, your inner child wounds, which is usually forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness. It's all about integrating uh, the higher, uh, the higher character traits that are derived from unconditional love, because that's our energy. But the shadow parts of ourselves are the darker parts of ourselves that we feel are broken. Expand your concept of what twin flame is. See that twin flame? I told you. Twin flame is it's more than romance, it's deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. So, again, this relationship is difficult, and it's difficult for you, Virgo. This is what I'm feeling because they said this person wants compassion, but they don't really deserve compassion. And you have wounds where you've been hurt before. So means that we're going to have to do something different. One more from this deck. I'm struggling with codependency. I'm afraid to let go of my old coping mechanisms. So, I mean, this is what healing is, right? When we have shadows, it's not just that we detach from those parts of ourselves, but we then integrate sabotaging behaviorisms where this person feels like there's something wrong with them. So they play a lot of games in relationships, which then they don't get good response from that. They act like they don't care. They drink a lot, they suppress their emotions, and they're not emotionally intelligent. So they come across as if they have this gigantic ego, which makes them feel better because it makes them feel strong and it makes them feel in control. However, they're very weak. So I feel as if this is a person that will bounce back and forth between having this big ego and then also be really insecure. And you might say, well, how is that possible? Well, it's again the facade. And the facade is, I don't care. Is that they do care. They suppress their feelings and they suppress it with codependency. And codependency, whether that's substances, whether that's losing themselves with other people, whether it's working so much, it's where they lose themselves and they feel like they need something in order to deal with their emotions. And that's what they said. This relationship for them is difficult because of that. Where for you, it's hard because it's asking you to forgive. So we look at your inner child wounds because we always want to know, why would you attract a person like this into your life? And where we already know you both attracted each other into each other's lives to alchemize those wounds. And those wounds came from childhood. We're going to pull four. Disassociated. Now, funny thing about soulmate twin flames are they usually have very similar backgrounds where they were conditioned to believe that they didn't have enough, weren't good enough. They were shamed, victimized, real root chakra imbalances, which is what creates detachment. Because when we don't feel safe and we're in the fight, flight, or freeze for long periods of time, we disassociate. Is that we are almost like watching the situation instead of that we are actually going through the situation. So there is a disassociation from our emotions, and that is what I'm feeling happened here with you and your person. Like I said, we're pulling for because I'm pulling for both you and this person because you're a mirror, but the mirror are the wounds. Doesn't mean that the behaviorisms come out the same way. Remember, runner, chaser. Again, the behaviorisms are channeled out differently, same wounds. Innocence, where I feel like the innocence was robbed. When we grow up in environments where we don't feel safe, we're not children anymore. We have to be adults. We then go into the survival mind. And this is when I said we're then unconsciously conditioned to look for problems. And then our behaviorisms are based on those perceptions. And what I see here is a lot of sabotaging behaviorisms from your person and even you because this person triggers you. However, you can shapeshift any situation because there's different levels of consciousness depending on what you do. We don't want you to act from a place of disassociation. We want you to actually be in the moment, be in the now. Only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. That higher self directs you. You're not leading from that survival mind. Disassociation, usually, again, we're coming from those old conditions, which you don't want to do because you're innocence. We have to be like childlike. That's how we find our passions for life. Trauma, again, trauma. So that's again the childhood trauma. These are childhood cards. One more. Suppression, not allowed to your own unique unfoldment process. That means, again, when we are children, we discover what we like and what we don't like. And that's why it says in the Bible, be like childlike. Children don't have expectations of how things are supposed to look, they don't judge themselves, they just are. They're in the moment and they're utilizing whatever's in their environment to help them create. And they use their imagination, right? So you can imagine it, you can create it. The law of attraction tells us that. However, if our unique individuality was suppressed because we felt like we were bad, we were shamed, and because the environment that we grew up in wasn't safe, well, we're going to detach and disassociate. Then we don't know what we feel anymore. And then we tend to just live from our lower self, which is what I see that your person did. What I see is you grew up in that type of environment too, and being around someone that goes into that mode that has those same behaviorisms triggers you. So this is why it kind of recreated that trauma for you of abandonment. Like this person really didn't want to give you the time. They played games. They realize the relationship now. They want to come back now. I just want to pull two from this deck, and I don't know why. I check on you from afar. So again, they stalk you on social media. I feel like is their way of staying close to you. One-sided relationship. So they realize you don't want any more one-sided relationships. They realize that that is what would need to change. It's like they wanted the relationship on their terms, and their terms were all about them, not looking at you because they were living more again in their ego self. And like I said, I feel like this person has been in separation from you for some time now and has watched you. And now, like it said, you're making things happen. Your life is changing. They feel like your life is changing. And you're doing stuff with your career. Like I said, all eyes are on you. It's only a matter of time, this person. So it's forcing them to change. And they realize what they need to change. They need to change that it can no longer be like all about them. Our story isn't over yet. So again, they don't believe that your story isn't over yet. Now, for some of you are going to take this person back. Some of you aren't. Let me tell you, when it's soulmate twin flame, usually it's really difficult not to take the person back because there's so much passion and unconditional love. So what do? Because you don't want to be triggered. Well, to tell you, you have to integrate certain energies in order to balance out the situation, right? You have to integrate certain things. So we'll see what spirit says here. What energy can we integrate to balance out this energy, to make it easier? Because this person is already realizing, well, if it's not a one-sided relationship anymore, that it's going to be like a lot better. But that doesn't mean that you're not, the damage isn't kind of done because of what they did. So why I would say healing and integration still needs to be done on your part. So being true, be true to you. That's number one. I am true to myself. Then I can be true to others. I remove my mask and stop creating illusions. I have confidence in who I am and I reveal the good in me. I do not need to hide or prove anything. I replace shame with the power of love and truth. So remember, both parties um, are really clearing shame. Those are root chakra imbalances. And that's sometimes when we just inherit it. We feel uncomfortable because there's not a lot of money, there's problems in the house. And because we can feel it or we live it as children, we feel like everybody else does. So we become really overly sensitive to that. Where Spirit's saying is about finding yourself and being true to yourself and never swaying from that. And being true to yourself means losing yourself in things that you're passionate about. It's not just like being true, like I need this, and laying down strict boundaries, because people will always try to cross those boundaries. But it's finding yourself. Being true to yourself means love yourself, do the right thing by yourself. A lot of people are not true to themselves in the fact that they don't love themselves, so they don't invest in themselves. So they wind up being in codependent relationships because they give too much time and energy. So when this is being true, it's being true to yourself on a whole. So it creates balance in your relationship, and so that you feel 100% fulfilled within yourself, that you don't need anything from this person, that whatever they give you, it contributes, it adds to. Why? Because if the relationship doesn't work out, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't work out or that it's not going to work out, but that you won't have a whole. Soulmate twin flame relationships, you feel like this person's your other half. It's easy to lose yourself in this type of relationship, and one that creates a lot of pain when it's not balanced, one that keeps you bound to that shame because you grew up with that. This person is coming in to help clear it, but if it's not integrated properly, you're going to experience karma. And the karma is, I feel like shame. I feel like this person made me feel bad. They didn't give me enough. They didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated. They made me feel, like you said, bad about myself, where Spirit says no one should be able to make you feel bad about yourself. You need to be true to yourself. That's one. And that's when you do that, your person will follow suit because there is unconditional love. Choice. I choose serenity, light, and positive energy no matter what I go through. I choose happiness. I rise above fear and direct my thoughts to God. So, again, God is that unconditional love. That's the energy of the universe. That's the energy that's inside of you, unconditional love. So, it's a choice to be in a place of serenity, which is pretty much when you're in a place of unconditional love. You're at peace, you're at happiness. And that it is a choice, that you can't control this person, but you can control yourself. It's not that this person's not going to trigger you. They're a soulmate twin flame. It means that there's many, many lessons. It's this relationship is a past life one, and one where you have not learned the lessons. This person is actually evolving right now to get up to twin flame level, so that to come into your life to help you as you help them. But remember, it's a choice to be happy. And it's also a choice that you're choosing to be with each other. So remember that. Because a lot of times we can get triggered so much that we lose sight of that. So remember, it's to say, I want to be with this person. It's my choice. But I'm going to be true to myself on a whole, and not give you the entire pizza pie. You're only getting a slice. It's like the other 7 slices are for me. You got to earn to be more. Our relationship grows, you get more, because trust is something that's established over time. Balance is something that happens over time, not codependency. The divine fruit. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundation, root chakra, again, connected to the physical body, the physical world, all physical elements of the physical world. And that's what needs to be healed. Remember, the foundation, the family, was not strong. So the spirit's saying it's like you're doing it for yourself. You're reparenting. That's how you heal inner child wounds. You have to reparent, and that is soul integration. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundation. My intellect is light, my heart is warm, and my soul is strength. I am nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. So, and you create yourself, you find yourself because you're not shame. You're not those wounds from childhood that were not integrated. This person's coming into your life to help you integrate those childhood wounds as you are them, and so that you can both find your divine fruit. I'm going to leave that there, guys. You let me know whether you resonated with this, and if you did, give me a like, comment the word again in your description box. That's what the word was. Oh, it's innovation. That's right, because you are in the process of doing big things is what. All right. And I'll talk to you all soon. Let's see. All right. Bye.